Welcome to the Pendulum Podcast, where every week we'll be giving you our raw take on what's really going on when it comes to dating, relationships, sex, and love, and how to balance it out.
All right, hey folks, welcome back to another week of the Pendulum View. I'm your co-host, Emeka Bronson. I represent Alpha IQ, a dating firm, online digital course dedicated to helping men overcome some of the obstacles in their relationships. My other co-hosts are Nicole and Natasha.
Hey, I'm Nicole Melissa, and I'm Natasha Lorraine. And today we are going to be talking about courting. Is it still a thing? Do people still do it? And I guess we'll chime in on our thoughts on it. So I feel like, this is really going to be, this is a ball we're going to throw in your court. Because do women court? I don't know. I think women nowadays court. But I feel like, no, I think courting does exist. I think it still exists. It's just, so that's for grown men, I feel.
Yeah.
No, I like this 90s group, 90s plus group, maybe they don't know about it so much.
Well, I also think too, and Emeka, you can tell me what you think about this. I think that all things do exist, but it's really about how much that person likes you.
Exactly, that 100%.
Yeah.
He would court you if he wanted to.
If he knew that was like something you liked or that you were interested in, I think it's all about how much that person likes you.
They'll put their foot on the gas pedal if they want to.
Yeah.
But also I think that ladies make it easy for them not to anymore. So then they just don't.
Okay, but what do you say?
Well, by the way, this week we're experimenting with tighter time constraints. I'm grateful because I really want to get back on Twitter and shit post more about the Robinhood app and GameStop. We're doing 20 minutes this week on each topic, so hopefully people don't mind the time crunch. Also, one other thing, I introduced myself as a co-host who runs the Alpha IQ program. Just for our viewers' edification, Natasha and Nicole spent many, many years in the matchmaking vertical with life mates. They now run an operation called the Love Listeners. Open minds, open hearts. Any problems you have, you can contact them via their social channels. We'll leave that stuff in the link below. So you can, I guess, bounce some ideas off them. As for your question, sorry for that little ramble off tangent, back on tangent. Courtship for me, from what I saw, as I just get the timer back on, I went to its core meaning, and it's I guess the roots of its creation, which bring us back to the 1800s. Courtship was, I guess now for my purposes and for what I'm teaching the guys that I take care of, it is an archaic approach to dating. A lot of courtship involved exclusivity, commitment to the woman you're courting, and the exchange of gifts without any physical intimacy or exchanges. So I guess in this day and age, it's called OnlyFans or Cash App. But
but do you think something's wrong with that?
You know what? If you want to do it, you can do it, but you're definitely not going to be called alpha. That's for sure. Paying for a woman's attention.
That was alpha back in the day.
Well, yeah, and I think because the resources were limited, it was strategic back in the day because of limited resources. We didn't have large urban centers. Usually, you probably had rural farms.
Platforms, matchmaking services.
Yeah. You probably had to travel a day via buggy to go check out the woman that you wanted to I guess marry, and you can't date her because it's a day's travel. You can't just, so you have to get her to commit to not reviewing any others, and you have to commit to not review any others or date any others. That's the difference between courtship and dating. You're committed to the process of reviewing each other to determine if you're viable marriage options. It removes the temptation of I guess considering others. Whereas dating, when you say you're dating, you're typically have, a couple of different messages from different people.
Right. So that goes into my thing.
Yeah.
That goes into my thing. So I guess, Natasha and I are always like, when we match people, we always say like, hey, we don't want to match you too many times because we want you to be focused, right? Because the point is, you came here, spent all this money because you're looking to be with someone, a long-term partner. So we don't want to throw to you 10 different women for you to have to go through, or like, 5 different men for a lady to have to go through. We would rather you have just 1 or 2. Ideally, we would have rather them get to know each individual and figure out if they want to be with them or want to get to know them long term or not. But that is like everybody would complain about that part. They'd be like, no, send them all to me. Like, send them all. Like, no, you can't concentrate properly. And then what happens is the person that you'll just be like, I like her, or yeah, I like him.
Well, that's the thing too. I feel like so much. Okay, first of all, so many different energies in yours is not good, and then also it does make things more confusing because it's like, okay, you're really good in bed, and I like you. I love the way our conversation goes. I really like you. I think you're very attractive. I like that we have some stuff in common. And then it's like, oh, you wish you could take all these things from all these people and make one person. Where, yes, back in the day, when it was, I guess, horse and buggy, you never had that many leads, right? So you gave somebody everything you had and figure it out if you really like them or not.
And then moved on.
This is the pendulum view. So it's like, how do you take horse and buggy and Tinder and meet somewhere in the middle? Because we're not all going to be against, it's 2021. So it's not about changing it. It's about how to make it better.
Yeah. You don't need
to good plug for the pendulum view, because that's what we're actually dealing with. The pendulum, the extremes of both sides.
Yeah.
Classic medieval courtship is not going to work. If it's hard to stay faithful in a marriage, how the hell are you going to stay faithful in a courtship? Especially when you could walk to the corner store and run into a female. It doesn't necessarily have to be an attractive female, but it could be a female enough to make you wonder if you should remain, I guess, committed to courtship, because your cup runneth over with potential leads. And that's why courtship was so useful back then, because your mortality rate, you were dead by 30 back in those days. So there was men who would go an entire lifetime in some situations and maybe see 2 or 3 women in their entire life. So you could understand the utility of having courtship back then, and how it diminished over time as like I said, the urban sprawl, urban centers blew up. However, taking from the old and trying to fit it into the new, there's an authenticity, there's an earnestness, if that's even a term. There is a romantic ideal there where someone you're dating is just focused on making sure you're the one or not the one. That helps, but unfortunately, a lot of that, I guess, bumps up against modern dating theory, especially some of the stuff that I'm teaching my guys. Courtship flies in the face of all of it, to tell you the truth. It creates quite the conundrum, because we're in my program and my theories, I'm teaching guys that you never want to place too much value in a female prior to her being qualified or prior to her commitment to you. Now, this is just the Jedi mind stuff the guys do towards females. I'm letting you in on these secrets. Yeah, I'm letting you in on these secrets because, why? I guess at the end of the day, if I truly believe in the method, why keep it a secret? I should be able to defend it. And I will. I have no problem, stepping up and defending some of my theories, seeing as though I have no problem calling out Harvard, Yale, and Stanford on my Instagram to challenge my theories. But yeah, to I guess just round up my point, courtship puts the modern male at a disadvantage.
Okay, why?
Because they're investing too much into a scenario that hasn't proven it'll return any value.
How will you know it's going to return any value if you don't invest in it at all?
Well, up until this point and today, if you sleep with a woman, there's a good chance there's going to be a return on value because you got to sleep with her, and which defines modern dating. Modern dating. Tell me if I'm wrong. Does not modern dating?
No, 100%. You're right. I'm just laughing because,
Now, mind you, you don't have to agree with me. I'm just trying to establish.
In some cases, her too.
Yeah, I guess we're just trying to establish plot points that we can agree on and things that we can build off of. Like, mind you,
we're trying to be in the middle.
Yeah.
But what about? Because you're over there and we're over here, so we're just trying to get a way to get. Okay, but what about the idea of this, though? Exactly. So I'll get this. It's about balance. Yeah. That is what the dating space is lacking right now, is balance. You're either all the way one way or you're all the way the next, and you can't come full circle. Nobody wants to continue to just go on date after date after date. It's exhausting and pointless. So, but what about the idea? Expensive. Yeah. What about the idea of, you have multiple leads. I get all of that. But somebody does stand out to you that you do want to get to know and invest. Then do you court at that point, or is that still a pussy move in your eyes?
See, I just came up with a solution because I understand what courtship was about. It really was about eliminating short-term flings and having people thrown onto the heap of the discarded, right? If I could sell my guys on courtship, if there was a contract signed that deals with courtship,
Welcome to the millennium.
I could sell. I know prenups and courtship contracts. So, for example, if the guy knew that the female was not entertaining others, entertaining gifts from others, then maybe I can sell him on lowered liability and a better ROI. Because for the I guess the most obvious rebuttal from a guy is, listen, I want you to court this lady. I want you to do old school courtship shit. Send her flowers, whatever. Do I get the fucker? No, you don't get the fucker. You got to do all this shit.
Unless you want to. No, but why can't? This is the modern day. She wants to. It's the modern day. We're meeting somewhere in the middle. You want to be with her, and it's you and her, and you two are fucking exclusively. Does she not offer the right to be courted?
Now you're redefining courting. Okay, so you want to do a redefinition of courting. Is that what you're saying?
No, we're talking about two different things. She's saying that once it gets to a point where you decide that I like this girl more than all the other girls, well, she's asking you at that point, will you start courting? Does your gentleman, does guy start courting at that point? Is what you're saying? Yeah. Yeah. I'm saying that even prior to you getting to that point, how do you get to that point to know that you really like her without courting?
Okay, then maybe I'm hung up on definitions, because what you've just described to me sounds like dating, exclusive dating. What's the difference?
Isn't courting like a part of dating? No? Like I always view courting as the, pre. It leads into exclusive dating.
No, courting in its actual definition is a committed discovery between a man and a woman under the authority of a religious authority in the community or under the family to see each other. So, for example, perfect example.
Okay, let's not go. Okay, we're not going to do like horse and buggy. Like, let's go to like even let's even go to,
The 90s.
1992. You know what I mean? Like in like those days still, when a guy liked a girl, he would take her out, do nice things for her. He would court her. He would make it known to her that I'm interested in
I
you.
want you.
I want you. Where what's happening now, so what we've noticed is that phase is kind of gone, but I think it also is because a lot of women don't even know that it's supposed to be.
Well, I feel like, well, no, you know what? When we were talking about this before we started recording, the three of us, the internet has changed everything, and it in, I guess, a sinister way, I guess, because now you don't have to do shit anymore. You can just hide behind your computer and you can date multiple people, and women are okay with it because they're dating multiple people too.
I think it's more women. I think it's more women.
So we've lowered our
We've
standards.
definitely lowered our standards. And so then, like, why would you buy the cow if you're getting the milk for free? There's no way. Like, I wouldn't do that. That's dumb. It's dumb. So like nobody wants to do that. And I understand why they wouldn't want to do that.
Welcome to 2021.
You know what I mean? I get it. So it's like, I think that really what we need to do as women is be more mindful of that. I'm not saying, listen, at the end of the day, yeah, we always talk about like, wait for the right one because it'll be better for you that way. But at the same time, there's a lot of women that are grown ass women and they want to get it in. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's fine. Do your thing. I'm not blocking your nothing. But also allow him to treat you nicely.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Allow him to treat you like, because dudes, like real men, they want to. It's just that you don't require them to. So then they don't.
They don't have to.
So they don't have to. Because why should I? If it's not a requirement for you.
Okay, so it looks like I answered the question. Do people still court? And the answer is a resounding no between you and I, because we now understand that people are getting into intimate exchanges during the dating process. And this whole idea of family, church, and religion overseeing the early dating process is pretty much dead. So we'll move.
Yeah, that's archaic. That's far.
The modern, to really, I guess, take a scalpel to what you're addressing in terms of problems is, yes, the automation of dating has created a skipping of a lot of steps in the dating process. Now you can match with someone on $1 billion platform, take your pick, and you could literally be at their house an hour later, which is happening in a lot of scenarios.
A lot. Definitely. A lot.
So, courting long gone, dating basically dead. You know what I mean? Like, that's just
okay. But okay, how much time do we have? Because I do want to just end it on. How are we doing on time?
10 minutes.
Okay,
I wanted final word.
Okay, no matter what though, whether courting is dead or not, when a guy likes you, and that's still a possibility, he will keep his foot on the pedal.
Period.
And so whether courting is dead or not, ladies and guys, when someone likes you, you're gonna know it.
Yeah.
And that is still happening. Whether or not the internet has killed a lot of steps, when someone does like you, you're gonna know, and they're gonna keep their foot on the pedal, and they're gonna show interest and intention. So don't think that can't happen, because it will.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point why we're doing this is to meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. And okay, I'll throw the female listeners a bone. You have to start really listening. Get out of your own head, because now the guys are getting really sharp. They know what to say. They know. I have guys now who could talk for hours with a female and never actually say anything.
Yeah.
And leave that woman. Usually what happens is you could talk yourself out of pussy, so to speak. You start at 100, and the more you talk, you basically talk yourself out of it. Because if that woman's with you alone, you're basically at 100. It means at some point in her mind, she thought about sleeping with you. But now the key is, for a lot of my curriculum, is I've taught guys how to be present, speak, but never take away too much from that 100 through acts of your own. So what women need to really realize is that if the guy is saying things that don't necessarily lend credence to the fact that he sees you in his future, then take that as a red flag. Like if he's saying stuff, hey, in 2022, by the time you graduate from nursing, you'll be able to do X, Y, and Z. That's a future projection. That's a good sign. Oh, let's talk about the Robinhood app, and we'll talk about that for 3 hours. Not necessarily a good sign. It was an entertaining conversation, but nothing in that conversation has to do with him being with you tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's basically like, it's almost like clickbait stuff.
Yeah.
A guy could clickbait you to death in a relationship. You're taking in tons of information. You feel like your time is valued. You think he values you. He doesn't give a shit because, he's just a charismatic guy who's in a jet plane to getting laid. And that's it.
Yeah,
He's not concerned about the future.
We were talking about this on a Clubhouse conversation this week about it doesn't matter like how tech savvy someone is and how good their profile is and how good their pictures are. And, if they pay for a service, they're serious. That's bullshit. So it's all about interest and intention. So we'll leave it at that.
Well, is there a way for viewers to jump on Clubhouse to find you guys? How does it work?
You can find me at Natasha Saunders at The Love Listeners. You can find me there.
Perfect. Our alarm is going off. Thanks for tuning in for this episode.
See you next time.
We'll see you guys soon.
Leave your comments below. We want to hear from you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, I'm going to make you fall in love. Stay tuned and stay woke.